Ons is besig steeds met breuke, want this is still with fractions. Nou wil ek hê jy moet vir my ekwivalente breuke kry. So this would be a question. Fill in the blank. Wat gaan jy doen met 4/5 om te skryf as iets op 20? What will you do to write 4/5 as something out of 20? It's equivalent fractions. So what you do at the top, you do at the bottom. At the bottom, what did you do to get to 20? Jy het gemaal met 4. So jy moet daarop maal met 4 en dit beteken ek gaan 16 hê. The answer is 16. At the bottom I time 5 by 4 to get to 20. So I must time with 4 and that gives me 16. So this one at the top I did what to get to 9? I divided by 4 to get to 9. So you've got to know your basic timetables. Jy moet jou maaltafels ken. So wat het ek met 36 gemaak om by 9 uit te kom? Gedeel deur 4. So I've got to divide this by 4 as well. Divide by 4 is 25. Ek moet ook deel deur 5. 25. Is daar nog iets wat onthou jy stop nou net daar. Could this have been written on a better way? Yes, that was the better way. The simplest form. Simplest form. But they are equivalent fractions. Hier is die eenvoudigste vorm, maar daar is equivalent. Toe die vraag gesê, gaan skryf hierdie vir my as 'n desimaal. So what do? You take your calculator for a decimal number. These are the easiest marks ever in an exam. You're just going to say 7 divided by 25 or just 7 over 25. Your calculator keeps it as 7 over 25 unless you say SD. And SD gives you 0.28. The easiest marks for knowing how to press the little buttons. So dan met 5 gedeel deur 8 of 5 op 8. Wat dan met SD vir my sê 0,625. Full stop. Is it necessary to round this off now? Moet ek dit nou gaan afrond? Onthou ek het vir jou gesê in die vorige les, jy hoef dit nou te gaan afrond. As daai ding nou aan gaan, if it's got quite a few decimals, round it off. Is it necessary to round this off? There are only 3, so leave it like that. Dis mos nou eenvoudig genoeg. As hy aan gaan, dan is die reël kom ons rond hom af tot 2. If you had to round this off to 2 decimals, the 5 would have made the 2 a 3, so it would be 0,63. But unless there's a lot of numbers and nobody said anything, you could have left it as 0,625. Goed, die volgende vraag het gesê, skryf hierdie ding vir as 'n gewone breek. So you can do the same thing. You can write 0,4, put it in your calculator, and immediately it gives you 2 out of 5. Dis jou punte. How did you get there? You said 4 over 10. Want onthou nou, as jy hom gaan skryf as 4, dan was al 1 spasie daar kort 1, 0. Dis nou graad 8, graad 7, graad 6 werk. You write 4 without a decimal, it's 4 over, and then the amount of spaces that you move this fraction to get it over there, the comma, is just one of them, so you need 1 0. But then that, you don't leave it as is, you write it in the simplest form. So you could have the extra step there, but your calculator gives you everything. Just like 0.00055 gives you 11 over 100. Oh, sorry, over 200. Dis wat jou antwoord is, and you'll get your full marks for that. How does it work with your own brain, not with this brain? You will write 55 over. Hoeveel spasies het die komma beweeg? 3 spasies, 3 nulle. Kan jy dit onthou van die laerskool af? And then how does that go into that? You had to go find what can go into both. Obviously it was 5 that can go in there 11 times, 5 that can go in there 200 times. Subrekenaar. That's sufficient. Let's look quickly at percentages. We're going very quickly through some of the exercises because it's all actually calculator work. If you have to take a fraction to a percentage, this now, I say a class toetsie 13 en 20 gekry. If for a class test you got 13 out of 20, how do you know how much percent that is? What have you always done? You said times with 100. Please do not press the little percentage sign, which I can't even find on my calculator at the moment. Yes, it's there by the left-hand bracket. Moenie die persentasie tekenkie op jou sakrekenaar druk nie, want jy gaan dit goed verkeerd doen. You've got to know what you're doing when you do that. Don't do it in maths. Just do as you've always been taught. That answer will be timed with 100. So 13 over 20 times with 100. You're going to do on the calculator or with your own brain. 20 goes into there 5 times, and that gives you 65%. And remember, if I'm asking for percentage, I need it to be in percentage. As jy ooit 'n ding moes gaan verander het in persentasie in, wat jy ook al gehad het, persentasie. Now, this must feel strange to you. 5 and a third. How can you get 5 and a third out of what? So, you can do a few things now. Like you've always been taught, take that and write it as an improper fraction. Maak hom 'n gemengde, 'n onegte breek. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 1 is 16 out of 3. Now how can you get 16 out of 3 for a test? No, you can't. But in profit margins, you can get more than 100% profit. Jy kan, as ek 'n wins wil maak, en dit het my R100 gekos en ek verkoop hom vir R500, het ek hoeveel persent wins gemaak? 5 keer, so dit is 500%. So there can be more than 100% for things like profit. En dis wat nou hier gaan gebeur. But the bottom line is what you've been taught. Mixed number, improper fraction, always. Gemengde getal, onegte breek, altyd. En om na persentasie toe te vat, is dit altyd maal met 100 op 1. You can always put it over 1. And then you'll take that 16 over 3 and divide, times it by 100, and your answer is 1600 over 3. Is that what I want? Is that now percentage? Dit voel mos nou nie reg nie, that doesn't feel right. That's the answer that the calculator gives me. So I'll say SD, so that I can say 533,3333333%. Dis nou waar ek gaan afrond. 500%. Ja, want dit is ietsie soos 'n wins. Jy maak meer as dubbel, meer as 3 keer, meer as 5 keer wat jy gemaak het. So sê nou maar jy het ietsie verkoop en jou wins was, dat jy 35 keer vir hom gevra het, dan het jy 500% wins gemaak. So I must put it into context for you, because 500% just sounds like weird. That's when you have something like profit margins. Whatever you bought, you sold for more than 5 times what it was worth. So you'll get a 500% increase, just to put it into perspective. But, first of all, improper fraction, times with 100, I don't even want to see that, because that doesn't mean anything. That is percentage. But we never put it that way. We'll say SD sodat ons kan sien. Dis 533,33. And the comma 33333 was a necessary thing to round off now. I would say so, because there were so many. But in an exam, we are going to tell you, round off to 1, round off to 2, round off to 6, round off to whatever. If I don't tell you something in the class, in the video, in your homework, and you have to round off, there's a lot of comma 3333, round it off to 2 decimals. That's our arrangements. Dis ons afspraak. As dit nodig voel en ons so baie desimale rond af tot 2. Goed, as ons nou persentasie wil vat na 'n breek toe, how would we do the reverse? Fraction to percentage, now percentage to fraction. How can I do that? Onthou persentasie. Percentage is always out of 100. Persentasie is altyd uit 100 uit. And if you do that, you're going to get your fraction. Dan gaan jy mos nou vir my kan sê, maar 70,5 gedeel deur 100. Can I do it with my own brain? Yes, you can. You can do that and times it with each other. So you're going to have 70 times 2 is 141 over 2. And instead of divide by 100 over 1, you're going to time with 1 over 100. I don't want you to do that, but you're able to do that with your own brain. For our purposes, calculator, you just had to know that you've got to put it over 100. Percentage to fraction is out of 100. That's what you're getting the mark for knowing that if you take percentage to a fraction, put it over 100. Then if you put 70.5 out of 100, your calculator gives you 141 out of 200. And that's what you write down. Calculator. We are teaching you calculator. So dis dan jou antwoord. Again, percentage. More than 100? Yes, because it's something like profit margin. Hoe kan dit meer as 100% is? Dis ietsie soos wanneer jy 'n wins maak. Jy maak 'n 200% wins, 500% wins, baie meer wins. So as jy persentasie na 'n breek toe wil val, sit jy altyd die persentasie op 100. It's not percentage anymore when it's now a fraction. That was percentage. When you put it over a fraction, it's just over 100. What would that be? You can cancel out. You can divide by 5. You're going to get 11 over 2. Your calculator is going to say 550 over 100 gives you 11 over 2. So whether I did it with my own brain or with a calculator, I get to the same thing. But it's about putting it over 100 en kry jy jou antwoord. How do I take percentage into a decimal? For instance, let's take 90% into a decimal. What are you going to do? You're still going to say to your calculator, it's 90 out of 100. Goodness. 90 out of 100. But then that is a normal fraction. How do I get it to decimal? Calculator. You're going to put 90 out of 100 and you're going to say SD, which gives me 0,9. Daar's niks daar verder nie. Can you see that it's 0,9? If you had to do it yourself. But listen to the question. Sometimes we go to decimals. Sometimes we go to percentage. Sometimes normal fractions. You must listen to the question. Good. Good. Kom ons doen nou nog so 'n klein stukkie. We've been busy with fractions and percentages. If I want a percentage of a certain amount of kilogram, of apples, of rands, of whatever, bricks, whatever, wat ek ook al 'n persentasie van wil hê, if you hear the word so much percent of, hoe skryf jy percent? Percent is uit 100. First thing is, percentage is written like that. We've been doing it there. Of van beteken maal en dan 150 kilogram. Now, it can be kilograms, it can be amount of apples, it can be rands, it can be anything. The answer is still going to be a certain amount of kilograms. As dit rande was, gaan die antwoord in rande wees. As daar 'n aantal bakstene was, gaan dit in bakstene wees. If it was amount of liters, the answer would be in liters. So that's it. So much percent, you put it over 100. Of means times, and then whatever it was, kilograms, bricks, whatever, it doesn't matter. En dan hoe doen jy nou daai sommetjie? You can do it without your calculator if you really want to, and cancel out and time and divide, because 50 goes in 2 times, 50 goes in 3 times, 2 goes into that 13 times, 13 times 3 is 39, and I'm very impressed that you can do it without a calculator, but you're going to get the same mark as the person saying 26 over 100 with a little blockie times 150 equals answer. So hoekom sal jy nou bekommerd wees daaroor? Ons leer jou nou om die sakrekenaar effektief te werk. I'm only going to give you this one example on the homework sums. All of the homework sums are on this. Just remember, if it was rands, the answer is in rands. If it was amount of apples, this would be an amount of apples, for instance. Good.